I am presiding officer, faculty, chair of management, communication, and design, which has a whole bunch of programs I won't mention right now. I'll be here for a while. And professor of communication.
Welcome. My name is Nick DiCaprio. I'm interim chief development officer and executive director of the SUNY Cobleskill Foundation.
Hello, I'm Jason Politi. I'm the director of communications for the college. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. I'm Darcy Medica. I'm the provost and vice president for academic affairs at SUNY Cobleskill.
Tracy Purcell. I'm an alum. I own Grapevine Farms here in town, and I'm on the college council.
I'm Laura Gross. I'm the vice president for finance and operations. I'm on the CAS board also. I'm also an advisor to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Club.
Derwin Bennett, Chief Diversity Officer. Congratulations. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Zinzo. I'm the executive assistant to the president, and I serve as a support for the college council, so you'll be getting your invites from me.
Hi, Lee. We've met. I am at Textile Academy for enrollment and innovation.
Good. Welcome. And you two are probably the most important people on this group because everything we do is to make this a better experience for you, to make sure you're successful here and go on to whatever you're doing after this and be successful there. This really is we're looking at the space program again, and I remember in 1969 standing in Central Park in New York, watching on a giant screen as who stepped on the moon? Doesn't matter. But his comment was one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. I'd like to think that you're about to take a giant step, you, and eventually you. So you got to, speak up. There's something going on that we need to know about. We need to hear from you. So welcome. And back down to earth, we have minutes of April 1st for your review and approval.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Minutes are passed. And Danielle, the floor is yours, or Lee, or however you're going to do this today.
Nice. So, finals week, everyone's busy. Everyone's just kind of floating around doing their thing. But I do have the numbers for housing orientation and finals that I have received. So for orientation, I'm going to base the numbers from last year to this year. Throughout the 4 sessions that we hosted, we are having 8 more people show up. For housing, we are for the fall for 2026. We have less people by 41, but the number is 1,041. So a small portion, but with the enrollment and the ongoing crisis, I would see it happening that way. Yes. So that's that. But the events wise, I have the number of my phone. Let me just pull it up real quick. For the events, we hosted as for last year. Okay. 3,421 events were hosted totally, with 72 organizations hosting those events. Unique attendees, we had 1,800 people. Unique attendees, as for anyone that doesn't know, that's their first time attending any type of events on campus. And then, but the overall total attendance that we've got is 37,283 compared to the last year where we had 35,617. So about a 2,000 attendees difference. The reason for that, everybody's actually starting to use the Engage system more widely. Everybody's actually getting the proper training for it. Our ratings are being pushed to actually, take attendance of their events, because those are also counted as events on the Engage platform. So with that, The percentage that all the attendees that actually attended is still 50%. So we're still not getting the full number of all the people that are attending all the events that are being hosted on campus. So to put that into perspective, if the number is at 37,000, we can only estimate that that's double.
Questions, comments? Lee, anything you'd like to add? You don't
We talk about, we got to be the voting delegate yesterday for our caucus elections. So if you want to just talk about the caucus, what group, some of the other long Zoom.
It wasn't really a long Zoom meeting. It just took us a long time to meet quorum. There was only 2 candidates and 2 positions open, so it was kind of like, they both were very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm spacing, I'm sorry. Qualified candidates. They're both very qualified. I can't say exactly what was said, but a lot of good things were said about both of them. And we ended up voting both of them in, so both of our caucus spots are filled.
Great.
What a great position to be in, huh?
Yeah.
That's nice.
If I remember correctly, the 2 people already have held executive positions before and the caucus positions themselves too. So we're putting the power back into those people that already held the
Yeah.
positions. So experience will speak for itself.
You want to explain what caucus is?
I'm not really sure. They don't really share that information out. They kind of just, they keep it to themselves until the voting begins. We were supposed to do it during SUNY SA.
Yeah.
But we were holding elections for the SUNY SA executive board. And they can tell you for about 9 hours.
Yeah.
For those positions, yeah.
Right.
So, and then we were going through all the, what we're doing at the end. Resolutions. We didn't even get to all of them. Home. So,
Enough is enough, right?
Yeah, because we went from 9 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. and then
Yeah, that's.
the hotel was gonna kick us out, so that's why we had to stop the meeting. Otherwise, we would have kept staying there. So, yeah. So and then
Can you explain the big picture? What is this?
all of the SUNY divided to this one hotel,
Okay.
and based on the resolutions that us SUNY SGAs from all campuses bring in to the SUNY SA, which is basically like they're overseeing all of us and they're making all of the changes that we're pushing through to them. So they're like the student, so they're like us, but on a grand level.
Well, how many reps?
Statewide.
It's statewide, yeah.
Yeah.
How many reps per campus are part of how many can you have?
People brought their senators too, so it
Right,
really
you have
depends on
a
the
senator.
school's budget. But as for us, we only have one voting delegate, so we brought myself and James and Lee, since Lee is going to be our next.
They're an active bunch, the Student Association of SUNY. They're very active. Resolutions for like, if you want to increase athletic fees or things like that, the students are in charge of all that. So that goes through that huge assembly. And they help dictate how students in SUNY engage, how we interact. It's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal.
As one of the resolutions that we passed, they're actually thinking about removing the Excelsior scholarship and replacing it with something better because we will provide more funding for medical students in the future.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So,
There's also one about increasing funding as well, isn't
Yeah.
funding for facility management that we have on campus. So hopefully, when the resolution being passed and them doing their work on their end, we should receive more theoretically funds
Right.
for our facilities.
And the president of this association sits on the board of trustees and is a full-fledged trustee at SUNY. Okay. So they have that role.
So it's very fun. And then I like college counseling that when we're all like happy and we see each other, they're butting heads and they're like, they say such
Really into
nasty
it.
stuff about the parties. And we're sitting there as like, but yeah, but it's an awesome one.
Great. Any comments, questions? Good. So the other thing is, we put your report at the top of the agenda. And after it's given, you're welcomed and encouraged to stay for the whole meeting, but you're also completely free to leave. We try to accommodate your other schedule, your more important schedule of class and other work. So that's really up to you. But that's why it's the number one of the reasons it's number one on the agenda.
Do you have exams or anything going on?
I have one exam at 1 p.m. today, but then I just have to be up to school for 11. So.
Well, watch your time.
Okay,
Are you a K-9 major, Lee?
Yes.
Awesome.
very
That's
good.
fine. And I will have to leave. I have 3 finals back to back.
Ooh, good luck with that.
Good luck.
You got it. You got this.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
You too.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure. I know you guys know Yushan. I'll probably be popping around campus, every here and there. So I'll see you guys. Thank you very much. Take care.
Okay, we'll move on to the president's report. Dr. Renzia?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. A couple things, what I realized, and I'll get this to you in the minutes. I wanted to quickly go over where we are with the strategic plan. Every year, we work with the faculty committee in choosing what initiatives we'll do for the year. So as you know, the plan, there are pillars, the pillars of vision, mission, values, and operational pillars that we also have added this year. The differentiators, what differentiates us from the rest of the SUNY campuses, and we talked that we're an ag and tech. We talked that we're student-centric, and I know a lot of colleges would say that. And campuses lab. So the ag and tech and campuses lab is really, really, really unique. The student-centric reminds us why we're here. So the plan has those differentiators with the pillars that go across, and I apologize, we'll make sure you get the visual. We had identified about 15 strategies this year, and we have completed over 10, which is very, I think, impressive with the 5 in progress. The ones that we think are the ones that we have completed, particularly in the ag and tech identity, which is very important, as you know, this year, moving forward. We finished the branding, and it's still being rolled out. You see the banners everywhere. As a matter of fact, we're very excited. We got a call from the village. And by the way, the mayor comes and visits all the time. He will be at commencement, and he will be in a suit, I've been told. I've seen him walking around town, but he's never in a suit. He said, I'll give you a suit. But the village leaders asked if we had extra banners because they'd like to put them downtown. That has never happened before. And they really want to start on the bridge, going into the village. So they've also asked us to be a part of the arts festival they want to start, the 250th 4th of July and other things. So they are constantly working with us, and they love the branding. So thank you, and more to come with that. It's just, I think Jason and Anya's shop have done stellar work. The other thing I'm very excited about under the Ag and Tech, which is just as important, as you know, finally we established the SUNY Agri-Tech Center, which is getting more and more and more recognition. Good, I always say this, best of times, worst of times. Finally, people are waking up to agriculture. And while they're waking up, everybody else thinks they can do it. So here we go again, right? Who can do it here? Who can do it there? But the SUNY Agri-Tech Center was presented to the Board of Trustees. I believe it was in executive session because they wanted to talk about some of the things that are important for us. I was told the meeting went over because of the engagement of the trustees. They wanted to hear more, they wanted to understand agriculture more. And you got to realize this is the Cobleskill plan that we gave to the chancellor. We didn't put our name on it. So I was teasing the person who presented. I said, did the chancellor take full responsibility and credit? He said, no, he did not. So Cobleskill is front and center in that. So it is launched. They're doing the audit now of what is necessary and asking the trustees for investment. This is a big, 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 big deal. The other piece under Ag and Tech and Operational was that we wanted to do a better job with managing our grant stewardship because our grants are coming in. We are pretty high up on the list of what the grants we're getting, so we're very excited about that. This is part of when we talk about diversifying the revenue, and it is working well for us. We are not just relying on tuition and state support. And as a small campus, this is critically important as we try to go through the rough waters. Under student-centric, we are about ready to and repositioning Steps for Success program. Scott, do you want to give a quick update why this is so important, this program?
Sure. So Steps for Success is an entrepreneurship program that's available for students to participate in, no matter what major they're pursuing in their college degree. And they meet weekly, and we develop the curriculum that they go through, but they weren't getting any credit for that extra work. So we went through curriculum committee, and now it's set up where for the work that they do during each semester, they'll get a credit of an academic credit, 1 credit for that basic 15 weeks plus the outside work, because they meet once a week for an hour. And then we also created a not for credit set of micro-credentials for Steps for Success as well, so that people that go through our business development boot camp can now earn micro-credentials. And we now have this set up where we could do any sort of program structure. What we submitted for, what was it called? Workforce Development Pell? Is that what it was? I think that's what it was called. We put in a 15-week program for students that might not want to go to college, but want to learn how to start a business. So we're setting ourselves up structurally to be able to do all different kinds of programs with it. And this summer, we have 2 schools that from Schoharie County that have an interest in participating in a 4-day program, sending their students to it for us to kind of help them move along. We've been developing the curriculum for that. Schoharie and Cobleskill.
This, we always think that it's important to make sure these programs sit in an academic home. And with the collaboration and partnership with Eric and his faculty, this is possible. So I want to thank you to Eric, because this is a model that's a little different, and that the chair and faculty understanding, we're experimenting ways of models that are outside of the paradigm. So I want to thank you for that. Anything you want to add, Eric?
No, look forward to continuing to work with Scott on this, sort of sharing a faculty/staff member who's also
like
teaching in the classroom, and
right? Yeah, seamless. So I appreciate that partnership. The other important piece under student-centric is we're looking at the scholarship matrix. Anya's been doing a deep dive and understanding where scholarships have a difference in students' lives, and we're learning some interesting tidbits, but we'll wait to announce them in the fall, because Anya's trying to figure out how that plays out for us. We do know that scholarship plays a recruitment role, perhaps more than a retention role. Mm-hmm. But she's met with the students. Were you part of that task force? Yes. So the students were part of the task force to figure out what a scholarship should look like here. And Nick is going to be a part of that with industry partners and just what we can do next differently and effectively with scholarships. So that was also part of our strategic plan. To also stabilize athletics and athletics fundraising, and we hired and they had, I won't take your thunder. You're going to mention day of giving? Okay.
You go ahead if you want.
We'll hear more about that. I don't like to take his thunder. The other under campuses lab, as you know, we've been calling it a campuses as lab now for 5 years, and it is playing into the Agritech Center. But on a separate note, why this is important, we've been saying to SUNY, you don't understand your ag campuses, you never have, and now they are. We have pushed, as you heard me say last time, that we have now created a formula, thanks to Laura and Betsy Miller and Sophie Anno, of how you look at farms and why farms are different on each campus, because they were going to do an omnibus approach, what Morrisville does versus us, and we know we're that unique. So we're really getting down to the granular, like, because our farm is on campus, why that matters more than 7 miles away. And we've been able to say the whole campus, not just the farm, serves 100% of our students. For example, I don't mean to pick on Morrisville, but only 15% of their students access the farm, because that's only 15% of their students are in agriculture, which is interesting. But we are also calling our labs with the art gallery, all the very specialized, the culinary kitchens, these are all our labs. And we've said to SUNY, and we've had several meetings now, they're listening to us, you got to treat us like you do the Research One and their labs. You subsidize those labs for the kind of work they do. We are now getting grants, just like Research Ones, that are tied to a lot of these labs. So we're arriving there as well. And Laura, is there anything else you want to add to that with Josh and company looking at our numbers?
So we are still working closely with Josh, who's the CFO of all of SUNY. He's actually deep diving with us. I think he's enjoying with us, honestly, because he's trying to come up with ways to normalize our numbers, because we have different types of animals here. We have different numbers of staff that care for those animals, different facilities for those animals, very different from the other campuses. So it's hard to come up with, one shop, one type of thing fits all. So we're trying to come up with a normalized formula, or set of formulas actually is what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's very compelling. So this is the first chancellor, even though in some ways they're very intrusive in our lives, but who really gets it. And we're going to go along for the ride with him. We're also excited that we said we would hire an associate dean for agriculture, and we have, and obviously Sophie has shown her worth 1,000 times over. We also said that we want to expand the Northeast Training Center, which we are. It's a little bit of a slow go, but Scott, again, with faculty partners, this time with AgEng, has created a very, very robust program. And in 2 years, Scott knows I'm going to ask him to say, we believe we will be netting every year in 2 years, how much?
1.3 million.
1.3 million.
Can I say a few other things about our status?
No.
So this past year, we ran a program every other week, which was more than we'd run before. And to get to the 1.1, we need to run a program every week. And we have people that want to attend, and we don't have space for them, basically, because we don't have we share the facility with normal academic courses. This summer, we only have 2 weeks that we're not running a course, because the faculty have obligations to be to a BOCES training and some other kind of training. So we already had commitments. So that gives you an idea of how much we've ramped up the delivery that we're doing. We're basically maxed out in sharing the facility. So that's part of our critical path, if you will, to achieve the growth. Second, we've been having discussions with OGS. OGS has responsibility, as I understand it, Laura, you can probably add more to this, what they call executive branches, and there's 10 of them, I think is what they've told us. And they're responsible for enacting Executive Order 32, is it? Mm-hmm. The clean emissions, no emissions from the vehicles. And they're getting funded to pay for training for all of those executive branches in EV vehicles. And we've positioned ourselves to extend our DOT contract with OGS to cover those 10 branches of OGS. And they're drawing up a contract now based on our DOT. And the numbers that we're talking about are $500,000 over 3 years with them that becomes renewable. So, and it doesn't seem like there's any time limit on that money. They just are responsible for making sure that the whole state gets trained.
And the beauty of this, it's, as I said, because we're diversifying our revenue, that is a base that will come into the college. Probably it's going to go into contingency to build that back up while we continue to work on our core academic enterprise. The tuition's important, state support's important, but if we keep doing what we're doing, we can do other things and invest wisely. So this is not supplanting the importance of the academic degrees. This is undergirding it and supporting so we can do other things. For example, next year, I've already talked with the faculty how we're going to look at the workload and how the union has said that they would like to help, which I think is just stellar, that I've asked that we sit down and figure out an equitable workload for the faculty. So more to come on that. That's going to be next year's piece. One other thing we wanted, as you can see, so it's been a busy year. We wanted to partner with industry leaders more and connecting the student life with them and work. And that is what the NYSERDA NYPA solar array is one example of that, where industry's coming in. We're going to be doing the research for them. This will be when ESG comes in. God bless, when ESG comes in. I hope to never have to say this again. I hope to say, hey, meet ESG.
What's ESG?
Empire
State Green, the $400 million project that's due on our campus. That will also be a game changer for the institution. As you can see, we're on and on. The other one that we're working on, and one last one, which also, Anne's not here today, her daughter's ill, under student engagement, one thing we're realizing is as we try to figure out ways to support our students, one area we're finding is that we also have to support parents, particularly parents of neurodivergent students. So Anne with Wendy Richards, our disabilities coordinator, and a friend of mine and another partner, professional partner of hers, their former principal and a former superintendent in the Capital Region who have done this work, are going to collaborate to create our first parent orientation in the summer, for particularly parents with whose students may be neurodivergent. We think it's important. We have to help them understand what it means to be in college, the resources we have, how transitions from Lexington ARC and Career Next will be a part of this. So this is a big undertaking. We are doing as well as we can right now with the students we have and learning what kinds of needs they have, learning needs. So more to come on this whole area because we think it's that important. So again, I'll put this in a chart for you all, but I love how we do this, and this is going to continue on, as I'm sure Eric will fill you in on the new governance committees, but there will be a governance committee on strategic planning that I chair. And I know, Eric, the call is out, and I know you have more to share on that. We get together, we're going to look at all this again, and we're going to decide what we're going to do next. It's rotating, right? But AgTech, student-centric, campuses lab will not change. It's in that box, plus how we're going to accomplish our vision and values and operation. And remember, it's one goal: to be a thriving and effective college. It's simple and yet quite profound. So I thought you'd like to hear at the end of the year where we are with all of that. I'll be sharing this with the faculty and staff at Convocation in a couple of weeks.
You know, part of parent orientation is many of us have gone through the process of parting with our children,
Hmm.
particularly the first ones to go off to college. And my oldest granddaughter will be departing in the fall to go to University of Rhode Island, so we get to watch the anxiety as grandparents. That might be something that would be very worthwhile, building into that program.
Yeah.
How do you say goodbye, but you're not saying goodbye, but you really have to let the kids go?
I know we do something, I'm sorry Ann's not here, with the parents who come,
We do.
with the ones who come.
Yes.
They write letters and some,
We do have, as part of summer orientation, a session for parents. And I think this new piece is invaluable. But, to your point, Eric, we understand that parents need to let go. And that experience hopefully tries to accommodate, makes it easier on the parents. And so it's been very, very successful thus far, so.
and before we turn to enrollment, I have to also say, this year has been stellar. It has had many, many challenges. And I don't think we would be where we are with this kind of report if it wasn't for the faculty collaboration and partnership. It's not, leaders set the tone. And this year, Eric, you've set a tone of saying, let's roll up our sleeves, let's get going. Let's put everything on the table and figure this out together. That resource is invaluable. And I want to thank you for that. We have a lot more to come. I purposely didn't mention the conference because I figured you would like to.
Yeah, I have something.
Okay, so that's why I didn't. But I want to thank you. The partnership is critical. So.
Yeah, right back at you. Thank you for saying that.
So enrollment?
Yes, our new enrollment is on the right trajectory. We're 14% up in deposits. We're at 732 as of yesterday, compared to 644 last year at the same time. So we made some also strides in continuing enrollment. We're only 36 students below where we were at the same time last year. So we're hoping to catch up with that.
But that's our target too, right? What's the?
That's for the 1909
Gotcha.
target, yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's for the higher target.
Yes.
Definitely.
I like to hear.
So, we're doing well. EOP class is almost full. We've got more accepted than we're supposed to have. We're gonna get funding. So I'm gonna be reaching out to BART to see if other schools are not getting their EOP enrollment. Can we get their spots and funding for that? So we can accept them all. And right now, we're maintaining 12.8% of out-of-state students.
Wow.
That's great.
Well, there will be suspensions and other things, so these are very fluid numbers right now, but we haven't gone below 12% yet, so I'm hopeful it's gonna stay that way.
Can you explain like general retention trends from year to year?
So, I would have to pull it up exactly how it fluctuated, but
There you go.
yeah, we have been working with Gut Retention Task Force that's actually very tactical. So we're going actually student by student, trying to figure out, make sure that they come back, what's happening with them, if they are leaving, why they are leaving, we gather more data on that. Because retention have been, the challenge, the biggest challenge here. A lot of it is, students may be overwhelmed, maybe not prepared. Some of it is fear of the job market. I mean, we've got students in programs that are wondering whether they should continue because they don't believe that maybe they're going to get federal jobs that their degree was, popular for before, things like that. So there is a lot of uncertainty out there about the job market, and we've got students that are leaving for jobs. Even if they were successful here, but they are not graduating, they're actually leaving to start making money. So, yeah, there are a lot of factors that go into the retention that we not necessarily can control. But those that we can control, we're doing a kind of intentional effort to make sure that we can get the students to continue and be successful and graduate.
Question, I think when we come back in the fall, we can give you more insights because the dust will have settled more. And the interventions we're trying now, we can probably give you more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'd also be curious how it compares to other SUNY schools.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say it's kind of similar. We're not
Yeah.
alone in this.
No.
Yeah, I don't have exact numbers in front of me, but yeah, it's been a challenge everywhere.
But we're trying cool new things. You want to mention the Emerging Scholars Bridge program that we're putting in?
Sure. So we've had for the last 2 years a program we call Emerging Scholars. One of the things we found is that students coming into our animal science and fisheries, wildlife, environmental science degrees where they need to take biology and chemistry their first year, a lot of them are struggling. And some of it is because they don't require chemistry for graduation requirements for the high schools anymore in New York State. So we have a lot of students who are coming in without that background, and it's really hard then to go into these courses. You also need a really good math background for chemistry especially. So what we did is SUNY had a program where they were working with the College Board on something called the Landscape tool to look for schools where maybe students are coming in less prepared. We used that as a way to identify students, and we brought about 20 students in 2 weeks before the semester started. You're not going to teach them everything they need, but in those 2 weeks, but to really engage with how to learn, to get comfortable with the campus, to get out in the field or with the animals, depending on what their majors were. And it's been successful. Those students have been retained and have had higher GPAs than other students who could have participated and didn't. And so what we've done this year is part of the academic momentum campaign that SUNY is doing. They've provided additional funding, and we've added the number of seats in that program so that we can bring in more students to do that. And then we're looking at other options for the future to expand on majors, but that's been very successful so far. So we want to increase its impact.
And then the only other thing I want to mention is, I had mentioned last time, is that we are the Higher Education Alliance, the Capital District Alliance, 17 institutions who've come together to try to build ways of marketing the entire capital region. I think I said last time, the number of people where was it? I think neighboring cities, like 75% of them are college graduates. Only 45% of people in the Albany capital region have degrees. We want to increase that, right? There's 17 of us, believe it or not, I believe there's more, but these are the 17 who've come together as an alliance, trying to figure out ways to sell us all and the importance of higher ed, and to do seamless transfer among all of us, privates, all of us. So we're working on that to say, how can we, and we used to do this years ago under the Hudson Mohawk Alliance. So we're trying to figure it out. It's scary, I'll be honest with you. The presidents are sitting there going, you're really my competitor. How am I supposed to figure out how to collaborate? I mean, it's quite interesting to watch this, you know, so you kind of trust them and then you kind of don't. It's an interesting dynamic, but we're there and it's working very well. At least we're at the table. Was there anything else about that you wanted to
No,
ask?
I think that's, that could be a big game changer also for the region.
Yes, because again, we're the only ag tech school. So it's kind of fun to say, you know, anything to do with agriculture, come to us. And then we'll tell you more, talk about an alliance in the fall, where we are with Fordham. This is growing and growing in terms of a partnership, and it may be our first foray into urban ag. Anything else?
We'll know more after June.
Right, we have a big meeting in June. So this could be a game changer as well. right? So we have game changers in every front if you look at what we're doing. I would like, Laura, you want to give us the good news?
So I actually do have decent news. So
Ah,
usually
I got that out of her.
usually I'm doom and gloom,
Yeah.
but I'm the keeper of doom and gloom is what I like to say. So last time I mentioned that we're in the process of developing our fiscal year 26-27 budget, and that's still in the process. And that volatility of the utilities were my wild card. They're not as much of a wild card now because things have gotten warmer. Our usage is less, but the cost per unit, whether it's natural gas, whether it's electricity, is still up. But you may have noticed in your own home bills, I mean, everything's come down. So that's a good thing for us. I'm still projecting our campus to be at a deficit of right around $600,000 by the end of the year. That's where we stand right now. And we still have some more adjustments to make to the plan because we have, people all of a sudden like, I'm going to retire. Okay, great. What's that date? And then we can add them in.
Now.
Well, every so often they're like, well, remember what you said at convocation? Why, yes, I do. You're interested? And people have been coming to me also and saying, hey, I'm interested in retirement. What does that look like? And I'm referring them back down to HR and say, go see Nicole. That said, we still need to replace some of those people because they are integral to what we do for our operations. The other thing is I already went and did that. So in my other arm of my other role here on campus, I'm the operations manager for the Research Foundation. And we haven't really had a good handle on the operations there. So I've been doing a deep dive in Research Foundation over the last 6 to 7 months. I've changed some operations there. And as of this past quarter, the fiscal indicator from the Research Foundation, we are now financially stable, and we were not prior to my appointments here. So the changes we've made have been positive, and I keep working on that. So I'm happy to report that we're fiscally sound on the Research Foundation side, and I'm going to continue that work over there to continue the work on the campus side.
Let me say, I know the budget's important, and the way I look at the budget, it's behavioral, right? That when we hear the numbers, that's at the end. The fact that we started at $3 million deficit and ending at $600,000 is stable for years. And that when, for example, right, Northeast Training Center comes in, that will be a gap those funds can take care of while building the contingency. We want to get ourselves that the whole enterprise, right, is at least 0 and up, because we also believe that that's always the rub about higher ed. Are we a business? Are we here for education? What's the ROI? I call it ROE, right? All of those pieces are part of it. So where's the business enterprise of that? While you're doing good work, do programs have to quote on their own? What does that all mean? This is a very complicated situation. So that's why I find it important to increase revenue, which is the enterprise, so that we can figure out the academic enterprise of how we value our programs. Right? I don't believe in cash cows. I also don't believe if a program does, if faculty don't have a program but are central to gen ed, to me, that's just as important, if not more important. So all these pieces have to be part of the value proposition. So I just wanted to explain that to you. That's why I get excited when I say, let's raise revenue elsewhere that's also value added, so that this enterprise doesn't have to rely on cash cow. So this is important.
We need cash cow.
Yeah. You have one?
I was going to ask what the status of the budget, state budget,
Rumors.
The rumors are, there's really no rumors right now. We're in, I think, the 10th extender, which is just crazy. Because they're only doing extenders maybe 3 or 4 days at a time. It's weird. The last one was up till May 4th. 4th, and there should be a new one right now going probably till May 9th. How we're doing that.
I was at a meeting last week with the government, and the Secretary of State was there, the head of Hochul's budget was there, and we're all looking at him, and he said this week. So we're like, okay, and then he said, but don't hang your head on that. So that is putting us a bit in deficit, right, because we're not getting money. But we see, we're all the state entities are in that. But I was told this week, who knows? And again, though, the budget for SUNY is a good one. So it's been a historic support for us. So that's what we heard. So that the budget officer, and then he left the meeting to go back to the negotiations. So he thinks, well, they showed us, it was really cool. They showed us where there's only 3 areas they're stuck only, but insurance was one of them. I can't remember the other 2 now, but the ones you hear in the news.
Yes.
Yeah. But so they're down to 3, but it's interesting. One of them is who wants to put in more money rather than less. It was interesting to see, I couldn't take a picture of those, but that's where they are, the insurance and that other issue. Maybe I can remember the 3rd one. So if that helps, that's what we've heard. 3 issues. Everything else is resolved.
Yeah, so the 10th extender actually ends today.
Oh,
Okay.
that's good.
And then Durin with DEI?
Yes, just a couple of brief updates. First and foremost, the Empire State Diversity Honor Scholarship Program awarded 10 of our students the scholarship last month. I just want to send a shout out to, because there are several entities or offices that are really a part of that selection process. I want to thank the foundation, of course, our business office, and our financial services office for helping making that happen. As far as the selection committee, it's always a difficult decision. All applicants were, but we did the best we could to select the 10 recipients. In reviewing last time the College Council met, the minutes, President Terenzio, in my absence, reported out regarding the SUNY annual DEIB report, student report from the survey, Campus Climate Survey. We are reviewing that report in addition to the employee data. The DEIB Council, we have a framework for a new strategic plan. They are excited about it, and with the hopes that we can launch it or make it, institutionalize it fall 2026. And lastly, a couple of years ago, we had a vibrant ag tech CDO group that met every other week. In the last year and a half or so, somehow we became distant, but we reconnected just recently. Of course, we serve on that group, Delhi, Morrisville, Canton, and Alfred. And, it is an important, really, support mechanism for CDOs, but it also provides the different CDOs with an opportunity to share best practices and, of course, some of the challenges that we face from day to day. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Sure. More to come.
That's our report. And Eric, what I would like to suggest too is before adjournment, I'd like us to talk about commencement so everybody hears that.
Okay.
Then I'd like to go into executive session.
Okay, very good. Your report, please.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a lull now in governance. We haven't had a campus governance, the large meeting, since the last time we met, and everyone's trying to land this semester safely. The administrative conference, as the president mentioned, went very well. Most people in the room contributed. It was a pretty broad contribution. We're focusing on tangible goals, things we can actually tangibly change rather than rhetoric. And I think they appreciate that. In my conversations, the faculty noted how the president seemed very empathetic and receptive, and they're very comfortable contributing, which was good. I appreciate that partnership for this important work, because we heard a lot, which we can't talk about, but a lot to be done. And thanks, Cynthia, for getting those books. The Burnout Challenge is a great book.
It's on faculty staff well-being, right?
Yeah.
And the name of the book is?
The Burnout Challenge. Yeah. It had been recommended to me by one of our former young rock star psychology professors. She handed me a copy, and I read it, and I passed it along to you, and I think it's really good for our work. I mean, you read through it, you're just like, yes, 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 yes. It really pertains to us, our environment. So thanks for getting those, Cynthia. Appreciate that. So we do need, I think the president and I want to move forward and get planning, grids, and all that stuff. And I think we understand we need another open session of listening, because the listening component is important. So we're going to have another 2-hour listening session on May 19th. In terms of institutional governance that we created over this past year, we're looking forward to moving with that in earnest and getting more beyond the sort of transition phase and the pilot phase with that. So I've put out a call for membership. We'll lock that in. We're sort of different stages. Infrastructure might be a little more locked in. FASP is still together. Fiscal affairs, strategic planning. We're going to split them out. Fiscal affairs and strategic planning, chaired by the people I'm pointing out respectively. I've already gotten a lot of volunteers, so we're going to be good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the meetings too on that Tuesday. I forget the date that is, the 19th, and try to see who's current, who wants to stay too, just sort of touch bases, because I want to see that picture as well. So
You just put it out yesterday.
That's awesome.
which was late, of course, but it's
No, it's not. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're already getting people to volunteer.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they're eager, which is good. And I think they understand that these are going to be impactful conversations where you're actually influencing the direction of the college. So I think that's a great thing about institutional governance, and the sort of one phone call with the president, which a lot of SUNYs wanted to steal from us right away. So I had to keep it under lock from Seneca to bring it to Senate until it was ready. APPC, Academic Personnel Policies Committee, which deals with primarily reappointment and promotions. They have 7 portfolios complete, waiting for 7 or 8. That may have changed since we last met. That always runs a bit behind. But they're still busy. They're our one still busy committee, just sort of, and those letters are going out very quickly. So we appreciate that.
Promotion.
As a chair, I've seen the letters go out very quickly.
Yeah,
So
tell them what the promotion.
promotion, reappointment, continuing appointment, which is tenure, reappointment throughout the phase for tenure track professors. They're also working on a policy for our lecturers, which is not a permanent continuing appointment, but is usually 2 years and 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. We're working on revised criteria for that, so that it focuses more on the teaching component, because that's what they're expected to do. There's less of a research expectation, scholarship expectation, because it's primarily a teaching role. So with tenure track faculty, there's 3 pillars. It's the teaching, the scholarship, and the service. Service would be things like governance. So we're busy. Curriculum committee is finally slowing down. I always call it a mill because they just churn things out, revise courses, new courses. They're slowing down a lot. They still have some gen ed courses to make sure have updated competencies, because we have new competencies from SUNY, such as civic discourse. I know I'm one of the chairs who has to work on that. So the leadership there is great. They're always proactive, coming to you with these things and have the paperwork set and put it in front of you. So great leadership across our academic committees. I think the provost will agree. So FASP, which is fiscal affairs, and strategic planning, which is still together, had a meeting with cabinet. Thank you for that, cabinet members. I had a chance to debrief briefly with Amanda Hantho, but I'll debrief more. So I appreciate that. And I always appreciate the collaboration with cabinet and the president, and hope it continues.
It was a great discussion yesterday.
I heard that. Yeah,
Yes,
great. Thank you
it
for that. Yeah, I know you were.
Very good.
Yeah. So, and that's my report.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Good. Thank you very much.
I wonder, in the fall, the faculty who received tenure, you may want to invite them to a college council meeting so you can see some of the superstars. And we could do that.
Yeah.
Very good. Nick, will you report, please?
Yes, sir, absolutely. So I just want to share a few highlights of the great work the team has been doing. We recently secured a couple six-figure gifts. One is from Capital Tractor, and you're going to see a press release done on that one that's going to be coming out. And thanks again for, don't judge how I look in the photo, please. All right, right. It's like, okay, I'm photoshopped in, you'll all see it. We had a very generous six-figure gift from Stewart Shops for the second year in a row to continue supporting scholarships, which we're very excited about. Athletics Day of Giving, our inaugural day of giving for athletics. Caitlin just knocked it out of the park, no pun intended. Our goal was $20,000 this year. It's the first time we ever did it. And we raised, with matches, $31,712. All credit to her and the coaches and the staff over there.
Good job.
Thank you. And of course, the students and the videos they made on social media were just amazing. And it really makes you realize how much you don't know about social media anymore, because they're just doing all these really cool things.
Thank God we have people who do.
Yeah, thankfully. So without any matches, we were at 22,000. So that would have been a success even if we didn't have the matches. But the matches really challenged people to give more and inspire that. So we had a total of 235 donations. 219 of them were unique donations. The average gift size was $103.19 exactly. The most frequent gift size was $50. The largest non-corporate gift was $1,000, and the smallest gift was $5. And there were actually 184 first-time donors, which is really important because the dollars are important, but also getting people to start giving and getting some information on these folks is another key piece. So we were very excited about that. Thank you for those of you who made contributions to that. We're already planning one for next year. Let's see what else. Golf tournament, May 29th. We were over $100,000 net for that one already, and we still have 3 weeks to go. So I'll be hammering out some additional sponsorships. Working with Amanda Hantho on better promoting our scholarship for internships pipeline, our program we have, which is where a company establishes a scholarship here, and if a student does a paid internship there, they get the scholarship at the end. So it really helps with continuing students. So working on ways to promote that. And the last piece, we're in board meeting season. We have 8 board meetings between now and the end of the year. Committee meetings and the big board meeting at the end of the year. So we're had knocked out 2 yesterday and 6 more to go. Who's counting? So that's all from me. Thanks.
Questions? Nick, comments? Great report. Thank you. Good. Brief council reports, and then we're going to
We'll do
commencement, then executive session. Cynthia will send out with the minutes the proposed schedule for council meetings for the fall and next year. September 2nd is proposed to be our first council meeting in the fall. So we'll get to see this shortly. If there are any issues with it, please let us know. And any other council member reports, comments, suggestions, critiques?
Went to another great luncheon. It was very fun. Yeah, it's just fun watching the students do, right? You can tell they're like, oh no, you go that way. And they're so nervous, but they just do such a great, and Jamie's just great. She is so good. She's like, oh, she's like has eyes in the back of her head. No, don't do that. They are knocking it out of the park. Just such. I don't know, Eric, you want to say anything with what the faculty are up to? And
changing the?
Oh, yeah, we had that event last Monday,
Yeah.
the culinary extravaganza, where students who were seniors in culinary, that's in my department, that's why she's asking me. I'm also chair.
Cool.
Switch hats for a second. The seniors did their signature meals, small plates, allegedly. I needed a nap on ID8 on the way home.
Right.
Dave Campbell asked me, "Do you need anything else?" I'm like, "Yeah, cock." So, desserts, entrees, and the parents came, and President Trenzio was taking family pictures
Well,
of
they
them.
came from New York City
Yeah.
and turned around and drove
drove
back
back,
that
yeah.
night. So I said, come on, you gotta take a picture with your kid.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing desserts. Again, small, but when you eat, we eat 80 of them, as I found out. Not so small, but.
But what else was cool, right, Eric, was these kids were inspired by their grandmothers or families, so they had to do.
Yeah, there was a
recipe,
story. Yeah.
Right, there was a story to their recipes. And here are these particularly young men talking about their grandmothers. It's just like, oh my God.
It's always the grandmother. That's my culinary faculty tell me. It's always the grandmother they get stuff from.
So we want to capitalize on these more.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
And we have dynamic new chef coming in, Gio, who's spearheaded that. So he's coming from Schenectady. You know Gio, right?
I know, well, not know, but I know.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So I hope this isn't too unrelated. But at SUNY Albany, I was at SUNY Albany.
I'm teasing.
I'm sorry. So I'm in classes with people who are, making these decisions, and they were talking about learning objectives.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the School of Education can't agree on learning objectives. There's
Oh, wow.
no learning objectives in the graduate school. Mastery, the School of Business, you could just find their learning objectives, click. The Rockefeller, some of them have learning objectives, some of them don't. What does that look like here?
We have learning objectives for the programs.
Okay.
And they're stated like objectives.
Right?
Right.
Is that
To
standard?
master. Yeah, that's standard. And we have objectives for the classes, and they have to be mapped from the classes to the program.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
There's a problem.
Middle states, our accrediting body should be all over that. Because we had to show connection and how we measure and assess everything.
Yeah, no, one of my professors is a former vice-chancellor or something. It's like, no, we just can't decide on our learning objectives.
How do you assess your courses? Because we have
This is my question.
we have to put into Weave, our software, we have to put our objectives and then show how we're meeting that objective by using an instrument from the course, whether it's a capstone or a final, and so we always have to have objectives, measure objectives, revise objectives, update objectives. Like that's the bedrock. So that's I'm surprised.
Thanks.
Especially in education, because that's really the
Correct.
area it comes from.
I'm feeling Teresa's gonna do something about this.
Oh, wow.
So Eric, I would like to quickly go over commencement with everybody here. So if you didn't get the notice, I'm sure you all did, we are outside. And evidently that was a popular decision of ours, but we moved it up to 10, hoping that, because we had a very long talk about what to do, hoping that the showers that happen are gonna happen later. So the breakfast is moved to 8. It was from 8:30. We're not moving it to 7:30. We still think we have enough time. So all you all have to worry about is to be, where is breakfast?
Breakfast is right next door in the Unity
It's in the
Center.
Unity Center, right? Like we did last year, we're roving here, right?
We're gonna eat. You can park where you parked for this meeting, that lot right out there. Walk in where you walked in for this meeting, come to the Unity Center, and once you're here, we got you for the day, and you just go.
Your robes will be in this room, okay? That, as we've done, they'll be lined up actually over here. We take care of everything. That's why we decided there's no rehearsal, because to Jason's point, we've got you. If the commencement is happening and whether we're watching for lightning and thunder, if anything happens, just follow the lead, because we have all of the UPD, marshals are everywhere. We will get you out and the ceremony will be completely done. We're sending people away. So keep your fingers crossed on that. If it's light rain, We will have ponchos, so Jason, we should have ponchos in here for the folks.
Yep, okay, we'll move them up. We have 600 in the field house, and I'll get.
The issue is, we're not allowing for umbrellas.
Yeah, kind of can't.
So, and,
That's right,
you know,
yeah.
we have to make sure families know that. So Jason's sending out notices, right? It's going to be cold, right? And prepare for rain. But our students are so excited because the other alternative was to split them in two inside, and they're not gonna be with their friends. So we're hoping 10 o'clock, and if we did two, we were worried because the group that would be later, the 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, we're gonna get rained on to try to even get in. So get everybody in and everybody out. Now, last year, as you know, we moved it and it worked. So I'm hoping the same, but if it's raining, the show will go on. The only thing that will stop it will be thunder and lightning. Okay, so just show up here, get here by 8, right? Because it's gonna be a teeny bit tight, because we wanna make sure you can enjoy your meal as well as get ready. Jan Brett will be with us, obviously. I have never seen such excitement in a community as much as Temple Grandin by Jan Brett. People are coming out of the woodwork with books, right? So did I tell you the story of Ray Wilhelm last time? Maybe not. So we have a faculty member, and we gotta make sure, everybody has to help us make sure at this point. He was an intern at a stable somewhere where Jan Brett's friend owned. He had a book, My Pony, the book. She signed it. So we have asked him to come back with the same book and have her sign it on Friday. Nice. So people are very excited, and that's the power of our college, Ag and Tech, honoring a well-known author, like Ag and Tech honored head of an Indian nation, right? Ag, and the year before that, Ag. This is we are. I'm very excited. I think it's going to be great. So we look forward to that.
Will she be doing any sort of book signing?
Yes, Friday.
Friday?
2 o'clock?
Friday, 2 o'clock to 3:30, and it is right in. Do you know the ballroom down the hill? I'll resend this to everybody. So the ballroom entrance is where Jan Brett is going to be. So that will be her book signing, 2 to 3:30 on Friday.
So right here.
The atrium.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, yep.
yes,
Right there downstairs.
Anything else they need to know? We got you. Just show up, right?
If you've been to previous commencements, this one is going to be a little bit faster.
Yeah.
We made some tasteful alterations.
Gotta go.
Tasteful alterations.
We don't want to, we know it's a risk.
Disappeared.
So we cut where we could, and we just want to make it, the forecast is not in our favor, so we want to get everybody across the stage. We want to get everybody have that photo opportunity.
That's right.
And get them out of there.
Well, I teased Ann because she does the names. We're going to bring her actually a little closer to me. And I said, you're going to have to go fast. She goes, I have to pronounce them correctly, you know, Mary. And I said, yes, and faster. Yeah, so we're ready and prepared. So, yeah, we're very excited. So thank you.
Great.
So I'd like to.
Okay. I want to thank everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see some of you for now in September, and all of you in September. And we're going to have a great graduation.
You can go.
Yes.
What did you think?